I stopped working for 7 days in my business and had the most profitable week I've had this entire year. Now, when I was planning on doing this, I thought it was going to be maybe 2 to 3 days, but it ended up being a whole 7 days to test my company to see how it would operate without me. So I'm going to break all this down, why, how, and how you can essentially copy as I go through here. So to give you a little bit of context, I had septoplasty surgery with a couple other things inside my nose for a deviated septum, allergies, and all that. It's something that I've had issues with for a while in my life. It's just breathing issues throughout my nose specifically. So I finally bit the bullet and did it. I didn't realize the recovery was going to be as harsh as it was, to be 100% honest with you. But it was a really good timing to test my company to see how it would operate without me. So you can see, here's a lovely picture of just me. This is pretty much how my 7 days went. Today's actually the 8th day, and I'm getting back into business, catching up on some stuff. So what happened? Essentially, I stopped working for literally 7 days. I didn't log on Instagram, and I didn't go on Slack either, where that's where I manage a lot of my team, which, complete side note, which I forgot to mention, if you haven't noticed, you can't tell, I'm very nasally right now because I'm literally 8 days after the surgery. So if I sound nasally, it's because I can't breathe out of my damn nose. I can breathe only out of my throat right now. So might be pausing the video as I go through. I'll do my best. I just want to get you guys the value. So I had surgery. I really couldn't do anything for the first few days. I didn't post on Instagram. I didn't check Slack. I didn't take a single call. And to be honest with you, I didn't even tell most of my team that I was gone. I told my COO because I wanted him to obviously make sure everything was good. But most of the team, I didn't tell them until they were told because I wasn't there or something, right? Because I just really wanted to see like what would happen if I stepped away. And it honestly blew my mind. I wasn't expecting it. I thought things would break. I thought it was going to be, I thought it'd come back to chaos. And it ended up being the best week we've had this entire year. So here's what actually happened. First 3 days, I was out. I was just laid on the couch, kind of like this photo right here. This is all I did for the first 3 days. Just icing my face. But from there, I decided instead of logging in on day 4, seeing everything, let me just treat it as an experiment and see how things go. What's the worst that could happen, right? I come back and I fix shit that's broken before. Like that happens all the time. So I was like, you know what? Let's just see what happens. So I treated it like an experiment. No messages, no check-ins, no micromanaging, nothing. No content, nothing. I wanted to see how the business would perform without me in the picture. Because, there's a lot of books and people I've read and that run successful companies. They always say, can your business pass the week vacation test? I'm sure you guys have probably heard that before. If you haven't, the whole idea is like, if you leave for a week inside your business, will it still run profitably without you? And every time I tried doing that, I end up working on the vacation. So I do it sometimes, like I'll go to Europe for a week and then I'm like, all right, I won't work, I won't do anything, but I end up doing it because I get bored because I love what I do, right? So this time, the surgery actually forced me to take a step back and just see how the business would run without me. First time ever, I'll be honest, first time I've ever actually done this. And like I said, it was amazing. Sales went up, delivery, everything ran smooth. We got new clients. We ascended new clients. We fulfilled for new clients. Like everything worked perfect. The realization that I had is that's really when it hit me. Like I actually run a business that is designed for the life that I've always wanted. Optimizing for one key word, which is freedom. Because for me, when I first started a business, it was like, I just want to make enough so I can travel where I want and with who I want and not have to work all the time. But I fell in love with the business model and I went more the working route of like, I love working, let's work, work, work. There's nothing wrong with that, but I lost track of like what I really wanted out of business. And it was just the one word, freedom. And it was really cool to kind of realize after all this is like, dude, I've actually built a business based off of what I've wanted this early into my career. So when your business doesn't just survive without you, it thrives. That's the real key. Like most of the time people, if they were to like run away or go away from their business for a couple of days, the whole thing would crash and burn. That's happened to me before. Like there's been times where like, I'll be traveling for a couple of days and things would break in the past. But now like I can confidently say I've really built this business to be something that sustains my goals in life. Because like most entrepreneurs, when they think of freedom, they actually build themselves a trap. I've fallen guilty to this. It's like, oh, I want freedom. Let me start a business. But then you just work 40-plus-hour weeks and you have way more stress and you have way more clients and there's all kinds of different things going on. But if you have to be there for your business to work, you don't own a business. You own a job. And a lot of you, when I say this, you might not really let it sink in, but if you have to be there for your business to work, you don't own a business. You are just an employee. And I had that harsh reality when I was like, I call it also like being a freelancer. I had the same thing. Like the whole business would have to run with me. Like I was a one-person show. I had a VA, a couple people on the team, and like the business would survive maybe a day or so. But like I can confidently say, like if I didn't do anything the rest of this month, the business would still run without me. And that, I believe, is when you actually have a business rather than being an employee to a job. So here's why it worked. It wasn't luck. I built a system out of it. I have a full team that manages stuff for me. I mean, the last group coaching, or not the group coaching call, the last team call I had, which was the Monday before I was out, we had 24 people show up, something like that. So I have like a legit team, guys. It's not like, that's why we're able to operate and do what we do, is because it's not just me. There's no way I'd be able to do everything inside my company. I mean, we have 10 plus coaching calls every single week. Way more than that, honestly. There's no way I could do all that, right? So I have a full team, and the team has responsibilities, and I hold them on KPIs. And I think that's the biggest thing, is training your team and having one person in charge of a KPI so that they are the one that can report back to you. And when you train them on how to get the KPI dialed in, then everything works well. Also having clear ownership so everyone knows exactly what they're responsible for. And then the KPIs I was talking about is like, data tells the truth. We track every key metric: book calls, close rate, cash collected, client success rate, email rate, literally every number inside my company that we can track, we track. And then we automate everything else on the back end that we possibly can. So even if I'm gone, nothing slows down. Some good books I'd highly recommend. And apologies, I'm getting super nasally. I'm going to have to probably cut this video soon just because it's hard to speak. That's the hardest part with like a nose surgery. People don't tell you is like sleep doesn't exist. It's 8:19. I've been up since 4 a.m. this morning. Yesterday I was up at 4 a.m. The day before that I was up at 4 a.m. So it's like sleep doesn't exist. But anyways, I digress. What I would recommend if you're wanting to go this route, and if you like this video, let me know in the comments below because I can go more in detail on specific sections. But 2 books that really got me interested in this is Built to Sell and E-Myth. I'd highly recommend you check these out. They essentially, Built to Sell is what I'd recommend to read first for sure, because it's essentially like showing you that even if you're not trying to sell your business, you need to build it as if you were to sell it. So if you were to leave, be gone for a week, the whole thing would run without you. So the mindset shift behind this is you have to stop asking, how do I do more? And ask yourself, how can this happen without me? That's how you build leverage. That's how you scale past the founder stage. That's how you get out of the stage of being an employee inside your own business. The second your business doesn't need you is the second you actually have freedom, in my opinion. Everyone has different goals in life and what they want out of their business. For me, it was always freedom. So if you resonate with that, that's how you get there. And if you want more of a breakdown on any specific parts or anything you want me to go in more detail with, Just let me know in the comments. I personally check those. Like I said, this video, very short, kind of just broad, just because like very hard for me to speak because I can't breathe out my damn nose. But I want to come on here and just show you and talk about it because I thought it was a really cool experiment. And if you want to see like how the entire front end of this system works, like A to Z, I do have a video down below. Just click it, it'll take you to another YouTube video, and it's in the description of this video, so you can check that out if you want to see how the front end of this system works. So, thought it was a really cool experiment. Wanted to share it with you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.